Let us look at the transverse section of the ovary. Now here you can see the diagram depicting the transverse section of the ovary. What I would like you to notice is that in the ovary you will find that the tissue, the substance within the ovary or inside the ovary can be broadly divided into two distinct zones. Now you can notice that I am showing a dotted line here. There is a superficial zone and a deeper zone in the ovary. This entire deeper zone, which I am now putting a striation, I am shading it for you, and you can see that this deeper zone has lot of blood vessels in it. So this deeper part of the ovary or the tissue which is present in the core of the ovary is referred to as the medulla. And what about the substance located in the peripheral part of the ovary? Now this portion of the ovary which is located in the peripheral part is referred to as the cortex. Together, the tissue, that is cortex and medulla, constitute what is referred to as the ovarian stroma. So please remember, the ovarian stroma is visible to you. Once you take a cross section, you can see it is divided into an outer cortex and an inner medulla. The inner medulla is the zone where you find a lot of blood vessels and a lot of nerve endings, whereas the outer zone, what do you find in the cortex? Can you all see certain structures which are labeled as primary follicle, tertiary follicle, the Graafian follicle, and you can see how the ovum is being released from the Graafian follicle, and you can see these yellow colored structures called corpus luteum. So basically in the cortex you will find these stages of follicular maturation. So I'm going to label here, you will find various stages of follicular maturation within the cortical or the superficial zone of the ovary. And then you all are aware the most mature of all follicles is referred to as the Graafian follicle. It is inside the Graafian follicle that there is a cell that is sitting. It's labeled here as ovum, but technically you all are aware it is called the secondary oocyte. The secondary oocyte is liberated by the rupturing of the Graafian follicle. I hope you remember this process is referred to as ovulation. Alright, so this is, and then after the rupture of the Graafian follicle, notice how the remaining parts of the ruptured Graafian follicle will transform into these yellow colored structures which are referred to as the corpus luteum, which ensures that there is continued production of a hormone called progesterone. Alright, so basically in this you have to remember the two distinct zones, outer cortex, inner medulla. In the outer cortex you will find the various stages of follicular maturation up to the most mature follicle, that is called the Graafian follicle, following which the secondary oocyte or the ovum gets liberated by ovulation, following which the Graafian follicle transforms into a yellow body that is called the corpus luteum. Clear?